Why cold calling matters. Cold calling is a cost-effective, proven method of generating new business, whether that's from existing customers and contacts or indeed brand new ones. Using the telephone to prospect has been carried on for decades, and there's no reason, even in the internet age, why we should stop now. Like any method of prospecting, lead generation or selling, there are always advantages and disadvantages to any approach you may choose to use. So let's look at some of those advantages and disadvantages and put them in perspective when considering why the telephone is a good prospecting tool for new business. Some of the advantages include the fact that an intimacy or a kind of intimacy is created, as pretty much all psychological and physical barriers are removed when you're speaking to somebody on the phone. The only thing that of course is not there is the physical proximity. You are able to speak with each other on equal terms, and if dealt with correctly leads to an informal environment in which people are more likely to respond. It's more human, if you like, than an email, a letter, a billboard, or any other kind of electronic communication. There is a speed and accessibility, as every client or prospect uses a phone. Even the chief executive of the largest company in the world, and that makes even that person accessible. Could you get hold of Mark Zuckerberg on the telephone? If you tried hard enough, you probably could. You are therefore able to communicate with your prospects and notably speed up decision-making processes and awareness, often without the need of more expensive and more time-consuming approaches. Telephones are considered one of the most popular forms of communication today, although email, electronic messaging, social media messaging are quickly catching up. But those all just add to a lot of noise, and they don't lack the same humanity or intimacy as speaking to somebody over the phone, where you can hear their voice and create a visual image. People today have become accustomed to and even comfortable with the phone as a means of conducting business. The predominance of email and social media messaging is a relatively recent introduction to our lives, but we've all been using the phone for many years. A good example of this, a large number of people use telephone banking as a means of dealing with their financial affairs, something unheard of even a few years ago. The predominance of mobile apps, of course, is beginning to eclipse this, but nearly every online business has to have a telephone support system. On the other side of the table are some disadvantages. These are less than you might think, but the ones you should be aware of are